Hi guys, well as you can see we have the motor and gearbox sitting in position, and we have the drive shafts. They're both installed and everything seems to be lining up just about perfect. The angle, whether it's too high or too low, very difficult to ascertain whether that's exactly correct or not. What I've been doing is I've been looking at the angle that the drive shafts are sitting at, because the drive shafts are different. One of them is aftermarket and one of them is OEM, so they're different thicknesses, slightly different shape, so difficult for me to try measuring through the drive shaft to see if they're in the correct position in relation to each other. Also because everything is a little bit uneven, the floor isn't perfectly flat. You get where I'm coming from. It's not easy to get it exactly perfect in terms of the height at this end, but I think it's okay. It's probably close enough. You know, I don't think perfection is required here. As long as it's reasonably close, I think that'll be good enough. So what I've done is I have hung the whole kit and caboodle from this rope, which is going down to my bracket, and just with it hanging where it is now, it seems to be just about perfect. The balance of the drivetrain in terms of rocking forwards and backwards, it's just about perfect, so I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do is to make a bracket which will hook up to the, if we point to it here, hook up to the motor mount, the engine mount, pick up the upper tie arm, pick up that and go down and probably bolt into both sides of the bracket that I made earlier. I think probably best to sort of go down and then split out going either side. Haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do that yet. Probably don't need the original there it is there. Probably don't need the original leaf mount anymore. I think what I'll probably do is just take that out and then use the bolt holes to secure this side of the bracket, and then I'll use the bolt holes that where are we? Yep, use those bolt holes to secure the far side of the bracket. So I think that's what I'll do. Haven't 100% decided yet, but in order to pick up on the upper tie arm, what I'm going to do is I have cut out a piece of steel that size, and I've also cut out another piece of steel that size, and the plan is to weld that onto that, weld the whole thing in, and then put the bush, which was originally in this. I took the bush out. I don't know if I can find it. It's about here somewhere. Anyway, put the bush back into this. This is a 34mm hole with 34mm pipe. I just happened to have a piece of pipe that was a suitable size. Put that in, weld it up, and put the bush in, and that will give me the I'll secure it at the tie arm, and then on this side we'll have to figure out a way of welding that to another piece of metal which will be flat, so that it picks up the motor mount. So this will be for the tie arm and this will be for the motor mount. So that's still to be finalized, but we're on the road. It seems to be coming well. So yeah, that's the next step. We'll get this done. What I plan to do is to pick up is to manufacture the bracket so that it goes to the motor mount. Get that secured, built, made up, and correct, and then make a bracket to go down to meet the motor. But getting this done first, that'll be the starting point. Hi guys, and welcome back. Welcome back to more bracketry, I'm afraid. Yeah. As you can see, there's been a lot of cutting and grinding and some welding has gone on in the last few days, and all of it is to replace this, because this thing is the old motor mount, and it would have gone on something like, managed to get that on 100. It went on something like that. The engine came to here somewhere, and bolts went down through here, and this held up the entire side, this side of the engine. So I needed some way to replace this, and what I've come up with, let me just set that down. What I've come up with is this mess of stuff. So the plan is this bracket goes on like so. This goes on like so. Typical. Not the first time that's happened. That goes on like so. Right. So that all ties in. This ties in with the upper tie arm, or ties the bracket into it. And then this goes on top. That goes on there. Holds everything nice and tight. And that basically is how we're securing everything to there. And then this is going to probably be welded on. I'm not entirely sure, I haven't confirmed that just yet, but that goes on like so. Yep, that will go on there like so. Probably get welded on. This bar will go down like that to meet up with that. So that'll get welded to that. That'll get welded in there. And this bar, it goes something like that and gets welded onto the bracket as well. The idea behind the holes in the bottom part of this is that these can come up through there, get welded to the top and the bottom of this bracket, and make the whole thing nice and strong. At least that's the plan. I think it'll work. Only spent about a week working on it. But I think it should work all right. When you look at how flimsy this is, it's not massively strong, although I suppose it's been properly designed and so on to be strong in all the right places. This, on the other hand, is just my best guess as what needs to be strong in all the right places, so hence why 5mm steel plate, 5mm steel plate, lots of welding. These bars are, I'm not sure, something like 3mm. They used to be actually old scaffolding poles, and scaffolding poles have to be strong, so I guess they'll be strong enough for my job. So this will end up being welded something like that, and this will end up being welded something like that. Initially I'm going to keep this separate, but at some stage, if I work out that everything is nice and safe and secure, I might weld this to this so that the entire bracket will be in one piece. Anyway, that's the current plan. So I've got a lot of welding ahead. I think all my angles are correct, and I will spare you the pain of watching me doing the welding. I've already spared you the pain of the grinding and the cutting, and yeah, we'll come back when it's all done. Well, as you can see, guys, we have a little bit more done to this bracket. I spared you the pain of the welding and grinding and welding that has happened, but this will now be the driver's side or right hand side motor mount. The original bracket that I made earlier is so strong, I felt anyway, so strong that it was no issue using it as the full motor mount for the side of the motor, or the engine, or I'm going to call it a motor mount rather than an engine mount. I think it's a good deal stronger than the original, which was holding up a big heavy diesel engine, so I'm happy that it's strong enough. As you can see, the ends there are the ends of this is old scaffolding pipe, and as you can see, it's come up right through this. This would be the bottom part of the bracket, and if I reach over, this will then be welded on top, and that'll be the full motor mount at this end. There's a, if I can show you here, I've already shown you this before, that's the upper tie bar. So still a little bit of fettling and finishing off to be done here. Pretty much happy with the welding that I've done on this now. It's not brilliant, as you can tell, but I'm not a welder, but I know it's strong, so that should be okay. As you can see, I had to make an indent here to get this bolt in and out. It's not perfectly in line with it, but it's not bad. That's good enough for me to get the bolt in and out, so that's all that matters. Basically, to do this, I just cut out a section of the pipe, and then took, I think it was a bit that I cut off here, when I cut the end off, and then put it in and welded it in position. So that's all sorted out. This is the 3mm plate, I think. It's a 2.5 or 3mm or something like that plate that this whole thing has been welded to, and then that is welded to the 5mm main bit. The reason for using that is because of this hole which I had created earlier, and obviously that wasn't required. I didn't really need the hole, as it turned out, but I didn't know that at the time. So that's all welded together. I'm happy that it's strong enough. I can't see it cracking or breaking or anything like that. Like I said, the original mount wasn't that particularly strong and it survived, so I think this will be alright. So anyway, the next step is to, I guess, get the top bit welded on, get it all painted up and back in the car. So I'll get a few more bits and pieces done and I'll come back and show you what it's like. Alright guys, well, you can thank me later, but I saved you the pain of watching me welding very badly and then grinding and then welding and grinding and welding. And well, anyway, this is the final product, all painted up and ready to go. So the plan is tomorrow morning I will, along with my mate, get this into the car. As you can see, I've boxed in the top part of it. So this tube goes through the first plate and is welded to the first plate, and then it's welded to the second plate, and then this second plate is then welded right round. I've put a piece of 3mm steel right the way around it and welded it to the 5mm steel. So if that falls off or breaks or fractures, I don't know what to do. But anyway, that's it. Job done. Not spectacularly well done, but done well enough for, as the man says, good enough for the girls I go out with. Anyway, there's a drip is forming just there. So I'll have to have another go at it with a paintbrush, but I suspect there'll be more than one drip by the time I come out to this thing tomorrow. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again when we get this in the car. Right guys, well this is the new motor mount all secured and bolted into place. As you can see, it is, I'm just trying to get this light shining. That's pretty much the way I'd hoped it would come out. In fact, it's probably a whole lot better than I ever expected it to come out. But nice and strong, and yeah, try and get a different angle. See the way it's been done. This is the original mount for the gearbox, so it's as normal. And you may be able to see down there, I've also reconnected down there, reconnected the gear linkages, so I can now put it into gear. And using my trusty little Ebike controller, I can now drive it. Kind of. At about 5 miles an hour. But it still works. Works well.
I'm so impressed.
1 horsepower.
1 horsepower.
Woohoo! Put it into gear, it goes better.